That makes sense, creating a clear paper trail. And you mentioned earlier that insolvency and law is looking into potential recovery options as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we're currently investigating every possible avenue for recourse, including potential third-party recovery actions.
Right.
And this would be against those regulated entities that basically enable the 79th Group's activities.
Okay.
So we're looking at legal options to hold those enablers accountable and hopefully recover at least some of the losses for investors.
So there's a possibility of not just going after the main players, but also those who help facilitate the scheme. But navigating all of that legal stuff can feel really daunting. What are some specific steps investors can take if they want to explore those recovery options?
The best first step is to reach out to us directly. We can talk through their individual situation, the potential legal avenues, and be upfront about the challenges involved.
Hmm.
It's important to understand that this process, it can be lengthy and complex, and there's no guarantee of success.
So managing expectations is key. It's not about promising a quick and easy fix, but about exploring all of the options that might be available.
Exactly. And this brings us to a bigger point, learning from this situation and taking steps to protect ourselves from similar schemes in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Beyond this specific case, what are some of the key takeaways here? What can our listeners do to make sure they don't fall victim to these kinds of scams?
The biggest thing is due diligence. Before you commit any money, you need to do your homework. Research the investment opportunity thoroughly, the company behind it, their track record, their financials. Don't get swayed by fancy marketing materials or promises of unrealistic returns.
So don't just jump in headfirst because it sounds exciting. Take a step back and really critically evaluate the opportunity. But with so much information out there, where do you even start? What are some practical steps people can take to do that kind of due diligence?
Start by looking for red flags. We already talked about unrealistic returns being a major one. Also be wary of any high-pressure sales tactics or anything that creates a sense of urgency. If someone is pushing you to make a decision quickly without giving you time to think it through, that's a huge warning sign.
Right. It's like those boiler rooms you described. They thrive on that pressure and that fear of missing out.
Exactly. Another red flag is a lack of transparency. If a company isn't willing to share information about their operations, their financials, their team, that's a bad sign. Ask yourself, are they being upfront and open about how they do business? Can you easily find information about them from reliable sources?
So it's not just about what they're telling you, but also what they might be hiding.
Exactly. Look for inconsistencies or gaps in their story. And never underestimate the power of independent research. Don't just rely on what the company is telling you. Go out and consult independent financial websites, regulatory bodies, reputable news sources. Get a more objective perspective.
It's about getting the full picture, not just the one they're trying to paint. But sometimes, even with all the research in the world, it can still be tough to understand all the complexities of finance. Would you recommend seeking out professional advice in these situations?
Absolutely. Talking to a financial advisor, an accountant, a lawyer before you make any big investment decisions can be so valuable. They can provide that unbiased perspective, help you understand all the complicated financial products, and really assess the risks involved.
So it can be like a guide helping you make more informed choices.
Exactly. Think
Yeah.
of it this way. You wouldn't perform surgery on yourself, right?
Right.
You'd go to a medical professional. Investing your hard-earned money, it's no different.
Hmm.
Getting expert guidance can save you a lot of headaches down the line.
It's an investment in your financial well-being. But even beyond due diligence and seeking professional advice, are there any other kind of mindset shifts or habits that can help people become more savvy investors?
One of the most important things is to develop a healthy skepticism. Don't be afraid to question everything. Ask tough questions. Demand evidence to back up any claims. And always be wary of anything that sounds too good to be true.
So it's about being an active participant in your financial decisions, not just a passive recipient of information.
It's exactly.
Take ownership of your financial future. And remember, investing always involves some level of risk. But by doing your research, getting expert guidance, and being aware of the potential pitfalls, you can really minimize that risk and make smarter decisions.
It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and making choices that align with your own financial goals. But what about those who have already been caught in a scam? What advice do you have for them?
Well, first of all, don't blame yourself. These schemes are designed to be deceptive, and even experienced investors can get tricked. It's important to remember that you're not alone. There are resources out there to help you get through this. Contact the authorities, seek legal advice, connect with support groups.
So take action even if it feels overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, there's no shame in asking for help. It's a sign of strength, not weakness.
That's so important. It's easy to feel isolated and embarrassed after something like this happens, but reaching out for support can make a huge difference. Absolutely. And one last thing I'd add is that financial literacy, it's a continuous journey. The more you learn about investing, the better equipped you'll be to spot these schemes and protect your money.